I got one straight from the mouth of Jesus. Y'all know we love us some Jesus at Catalyst. So Matthew 18, verse 15 through 17. Oh my goodness. We got to do better, all of us. If another believer sins against you, if somebody offends you, Jesus says, go privately and point out the offense. Not a text, not just thinking they're going to read your mind. Go and talk about it. Hit it head on. Be honest. Be honest. It lacks integrity to do anything less. If the other person listens and confesses it, you've won the person back. And you earn their respect because they know you ain't scared to go address something and hit something head on and be honest. He says, but if you're unsuccessful, he gives us step twos for all our overthinkers that like to overthink conflict. He says, take one or two others with you and go back again so that everything you say may be confirmed by 2 or 3 witnesses. In other words, there's no hearsay when there's multiple people in the room speaking and listening. Step 3, for all my overthinkers like me, we all overthinkers, if the person still refuses to listen, take your case to the church. Take church leaders. Let's really get down to it. Let's have an intervention. Then, if he or she won't accept the church's decision, step 4 is treat that person as a pagan or corrupt tax collector. In other words, treat them. It's toxic. At that point, we write off toxic because we don't want to have we write people off and situations off as toxic or hopeless because we don't want to have conversations. But until you get to step 4 and you've done everything you can do, you don't do that. But then when you've worked those steps, then you have grounds to say, this is unhealthy. We have to part ways. It's not changed, so it's got to shift or maybe even end if it's a friendship or a close relationship of any kind. So we live in a world right now that lacks integrity. Inside the church, people all the time, we are cowardice. We do keyboard warriors. We're safe text conversations, but they're not effective. They don't get things done. They don't move past. They may numb it. They may put a Band-Aid on it, but it keeps coming back to bite you because it's not getting addressed. Excuses. There's excuses I've heard over the years like, I just process better typing. No. It's safer and you have less anxiety and you don't have to practice courageous and bold leadership. You gotta hit things head on. And if you don't hit things head on in life, they will hit you head on. The reason your life is so reactive in your relationships and you're constantly struggling and stressed out and anxious and how do I do this and how do I not do this? And the reason you actually get more drama when you don't hit things head on. You actually have more anxiety. Dysfunction begins to accumulate when you do things like this. There's more shame, more anxiety, and honestly, it builds shame, not confidence, because you know deep down you're scared to address things, and no matter how you package it, you know it. So Jesus gave us an approach. Hit it head on, face to face. Be honest, and God will honor your relationships. It may be messy on the front end, but I'm telling you, it's the only way to build a life that truly makes a difference and puts the right people in the right places, and God brings you the right people because you can steward the relationships because you handle it the way He said to handle it.